what does the Hunger Games have to do with this?
Because that scene where she's reporting to Vanestra's reporting to that group of people, and they all look like they're from the Hunger Games.
Oh, okay. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Dad's a Dagobah, where we're celebrating the Hunger Games.
Only one person could make it out alive, people.
Katniss Everdeen.
And Vanestra, clearly, I thought for the briefest of moments when she was giving that report out, I'm like, is that supposed to be the Jedi High Council? That they're all this colorful, weird costume people? Then I realized that one senator was there. I'm like, oh, she's reporting to the Chancellor.
Yes. That weird guy was the Chancellor. Sean, the season is over. Season 1 of The Acolyte is over. Obviously, they're setting up for Season 2. I want to ask you this.
Are they? Is it obvious that they're setting up for Season 2?
Let me ask you this. Are you going to watch a Season 2 of the show?
If they make a Season 2, I will watch it.
Yeah. Okay, well, you are a sheep. You are a sheep. Anything Disney puts out, you will watch. Is that how you are?
I think I'm still in the camp of live action Star Wars. I probably will watch anything that they put out right now.
These are my thoughts about the season. Bad, not good. Not even good, not great. Bad, not good. The season, you can't make up for 7 episodes of rough with 1 episode of, oh, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, well, did you think this final episode was interesting?
I thought the fight scene was awesome. I thought the lie at the end by Vanestra was intriguing. And her little communique to whoever that was, whoever she was talking to, it sounded very sketch. You remember that little scene?
Yeah.
You have to find him. I have to let him know.
So yeah, is she like a Sith Acolyte too?
She's something. She's something evil.
Yeah, she's definitely shady. Yeah, I guess the episode wasn't the worst episode of the season, but I do feel like what I said last week came to pass, which is the whole time I was like, they can keep trying to keep us guessing on flip-flopping on is it going to be light side, dark side? What are they going to, and I'm like, I don't even really care. I didn't care about Osha. Oh, Osha's going to go dark side. Osha's going to kill Soul. Oh, I'm like, whatever.
Yeah. I don't know that they did enough to have me care about May and Osha. For some reason, I cared more about Soul and the Jedi and Sith Lord dude. And I wonder if it was I just got lost on who was May, who was Osha, and the back and forth maybe just confused me. And I couldn't, even when they were wearing, because even at the end, they were wearing black and white, but you had to know, oh, wait, but it's reversed. Okay, and then there's a double reversal in there. So it's like, okay, now I'm really confused,
Mm-hmm.
So I just had a hard time connecting. I felt like I connected better with the little girls. Like, I don't know. But I don't know that this is a standout main character that I'm invested in yet. The Jedi, I was like, oh yeah, totally involved. Some of them went out kind of easy, and I was like, well, that was kind of plot fodder, but...
But don't you think that if we aren't invested in that main character after an entire season of television, then something is wrong?
Yeah, totally.
I feel like it's not like a past, like, well, maybe in season 2 we'll get more invested. Like, it shouldn't take a season of television
Yeah.
before we're invested in these
Oh,
characters.
I agree totally. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it was the ending. I think is the most. I don't know. You can't. I think we said the same thing with Book of Boba Fett, where the Book of Boba Fett struggled so much of its season, and then they had that good Mandalorian episode, and they had that final episode where a lot of it was Mandalorian and Grogu again. We're like, oh, that was a fun ending, but I think at the same time we said you can't make up for a whole bad season with one kind of good episode, and that's how I feel about this. Like the ending of this show intrigues me enough to be interested in the second season and to theorize and talk about what's going on. But overall, when people ask me in 6 months what I think of the Acolyte, I'll be like, meh. Do I need to watch it? I don't know. You can skip it if you want. I'm not going to be like, oh, you've got to see Andor.
Yeah. I think what is overall disappointing about The Acolyte was my opinion is that it was marketed to us and sold to us as a story about the Sith and from the Sith's point of view. And this show was not
Yeah.
about the Sith or from the Sith's point of view. Like, we got that one episode 6 of Kimir on the unknown planet, like kind of explaining himself to Osha. That was the most we got in terms of the Sith's point of view. But I don't in any way feel like this show was about the Sith.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I still feel like I don't have good clarity. Okay, so we see let's just talk about it. We see like this cameo of Darth Plagueis, like a little creeper hiding in the cave. I'm like, no one knew he was in there. I mean, obviously Kamir knows he's in there, but I'm like, Osha just didn't sense that a Dark Lord of the Sith was hiding out in the same cave as her, or
What are we
was it the
supposed to
same?
take from that? What are we supposed to?
To me, it was like a throwaway cameo. I guess it answers the question of Kimir's not the master, but it's like, are they following the rule of two?
He's
I
openly getting an apprentice. I thought the apprentice always had to get an apprentice in secret.
Right. But they also can have, like, I guess they can have acolytes. Vader has the Inquisitors that
Yeah.
aren't actually apprentices, but they do his bidding. So again, some of the framework was there, but I felt like it needed to be explained a little bit more, or actually give us the Sith's point of view throughout the main character should have been May as a Sith acolyte the whole time, type of thing. So what was originally, I feel like, marketed as this is going to be a story about the Sith, this is going to be from the Sith's point of view. Leslie Headland herself said that she always wanted to tell a story about, like, from the bad guy's perspective. And I just feel like that didn't happen in this show. For
Yeah.
the most part, we were from the Jedi's point of view.
Yeah. We had brief glimpses, right?
Yeah.
Half of an episode and then kind of a little bit of this episode.
Dare I make a callback? It kind of feels like the Battlefront 2 single player campaign with Iden Versio, where they said we were going to play as an Imperial, and 2 missions, 2 levels into the story, she defects to the Rebellion, and we play as the Rebellion the whole time. And so it's like, okay, we're just playing the same thing that we've always seen, all the, But I felt like this episode wasn't bad. It wasn't the best episode of the season. It wasn't the worst one. I do feel a little bit like it was, to me, a season finale should be tying up and giving clarity on questions we have. And I felt like for 70% of the episode, I was still kind of confused on, okay, so is Soul bad, or is he good, or is is May good now, or is she still bad? Or is Osha is good? Oh no, she's bad now. And why is May like, yeah, wipe my memory? Like, what is May's motivation for anything? That she's like, yeah, I'm not gonna go with Kamir, but you guys can wipe my memory. Like, you don't have any plans for your life? You're happy to just possibly go to prison the
That
rest
did
of your
seem
life?
strange. Okay, so you don't want to go with the Sith. Fine. So the alternative is wipe my memory. Because I don't want them to be able to find you.
You know, let me just say this too. You know what actually had me confused for the last 3 episodes is Basil, that little tracker creature. I'm like, what is he accomplishing? And I felt like every time he was on screen, because he doesn't talk, so we never know what he's saying. I felt like, are we supposed to understand what he's thinking or doing or what his motivation is? Because I never knew. I'm like, is he trying to protect Soul, or is he trying to protect May? Or is he trying to out May, or is he trying to out Soul? And then
What was he
Soul's going
trying
to
to do
shoot down.
today?
Soul's going to shoot down May, and he disables the lasers. But
But
then
just
the
two
Jedi get
episodes
there, and
ago, he wanted to kill May, right? Or
so yeah, I never knew like why do we care about this tracker, and what is he divulging to us, because I'm not getting it. Whatever he's supposed to be revealing to us is going way over my head.
and does the droid not know who she is either? Pip?
Yeah, Pip doesn't care. He's like, whatever.
Yeah.
Whoever charges my battery, I'm fine.
I
But anyway, I do feel like, so in the last episode we talked about, I still feel this way. I feel like they were trying to frame the episode as, oh, this was the big reveal of the sinister thing that the Jedi did. And I felt like I don't even really think they did anything wrong. The most ambiguous thing they did was Soul killing Anastasia, but even that is like, in my mind, somewhat justifiable, as she was turning into a black smoke monster,
mm-hmm.
and also turning the little girl that he thought was Osha into a black smoke monster that he thought, are you killing this child? Or like, what? He doesn't know. And then he stabbed into it. Okay. So, all right. Um, again, we said the Padawan guy with the orange lightsaber, Tormund or whatever his name was, he doesn't even kill anybody. He doesn't even do anything. And years later, he goes into a permanent meditation and ends up deciding, I'm going to drink poison over this and just end my life as a result of this incident that has happened. It just was like, it didn't make any sense to me. But now in this season finale, I feel like they've doubled down on, oh no, we were supposed to feel like Soul had done something
Mm-hmm.
terribly evil and sinister and has been hiding it. And I just didn't feel that way. I
No,
like
I didn't
didn't
either.
I didn't feel like there was a big payoff of like, oh, he has to confess. I'm like, who cares? Like, who cares? So I don't know. And also, I found it weird that we never saw the Dathomiri or whatever Zabrak woman mother, the other mother. We never saw her actually die on screen. So this whole episode, I was kind of waiting, like maybe she was gonna still be alive or something.
Well, if we don't see a body, then I guess we assume she's alive.
And because when Soul was walking around Brendok, the witches were chanting it, and I'm like, oh, did they all survive? Maybe they all survived and they just were passed out for a while. Then after the Jedi left, they all woke up like, oh man,
That's crazy.
I got Wookiee breath.
So, so how did the twins actually get created? Did we get that answered? Is it just the Force?
I think it's supposed to be a tie to Plagueis. How Palpatine tells Anakin that Plagueis like learned how to manipulate the midichlorians to create life through the Force. And this is like a connective tissue to that story of now Plagueis is going to know about Brendock, where there's a vergence where these witches created life out of the Force. From the
So he didn't do it. The witches did, but he's going to learn their power in order to then create Anakin.
Yeah.
Is that kind of where we're going with this story?
Well, him creating Anakin is inferred in the Plagueis novel, which is not canon anymore. It's a
Right.
Legends book. And so I don't think there's anything in canon to say that he created Anakin. And I feel like the prevailing explanation of Anakin that I've heard more often that I think is the canon version is that because of Plagueis and Palpatine experimenting so much with the dark side, the Force, to balance out whatever they were doing, the Force created Anakin as a balance to it. So in a way, Plagueis and them like accidentally created Anakin, but it wasn't that they meant to. It was that the Force created Anakin to balance whatever.
A corrective.
Yes, a corrective conception, immaculate conception. But anyway, yeah. So I think that it's just that the witches created them. I didn't really, again, maybe over my head, I didn't really get the whole explanation of they're not twins. They're the same person split into two. I'm like, well, what's the significance of that? Like, they were created by the Force, even if it was only one person who.
Yeah.
And so, but I'm like, all right. But yeah, I was laughing again because the first time he tried to tell May, he's like, you're not twins. And I'm like, in the season finale, we're still going to, poor soul can never tell a single story without being cut off or something where he's not able to.
It would have been better if he was trying to tell her what it was as she crushed his throat. You're not twins. You're not sisters. You're.
It's like, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Choke harder.
That was weird.
Go ahead. It's okay.
That was so weird. It's okay.
Because at that point I was like, I don't think, I guess too, I think they wanted it to be more emotional, like Soul was her like surrogate father type figure too, because he was her master, she was the Padawan or whatever, but I don't feel like they developed that enough for me to be invested in the Soul Osha relationship either.
It's okay. You can kill me.
Yeah.
I must die. I stabbed a black cloud of witchness.
Yeah, that's right. So I don't know. I feel like yeah, what were we supposed to get out of the Plagueis thing? Like, if I guess I'd be interested if there was an Acolyte season 2, if Plagueis became like a main character.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would truly be interested in seeing a season that is from the perspective of the Sith. Like, what are they doing right now? What are their goals? How are they like working in the shadows to take down the Jedi? Do they have a connection to Venestra? Have they already started to,
That would Senate connections.
That would be interesting. Like, I would watch that. But
well, we've got to watch season 2 because I do feel like they're trying to go in that direction. I think they're trying to set up something with the Senate, not trusting the Jedi anymore. Venestra's a little shady. She needs to go talk to Master Yoda about something. What does she need to tell him? What is she there to tell him?
I have no idea.
My Padawan, who I whipped with my lightsaber, is still alive.
Yeah, I wanted a little bit more from that too. I wanted a confrontation or a conversation or something between those two.
You helmet. That was it, right?
Yeah. So I don't know.
It's you or something, I think is what she said.
But yeah, what is she gonna tell Yoda?
Hey, remember how I whipped my Padawan? Yeah, so he's still alive. You did what?
I feel like I would assume that when she whipped him or something, she told all the Jedi Council that he died or something.
Hmm.
And he actually just like ran away or she left him for dead or something.
JK.
But yeah. So overall, I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being Andor and 1 being Book of Boba Fett.
Episode 9.
Yeah, okay, episode 9. Where do you rank the Acolyte?
How about we just do of the Star Wars shows?
Is the Acolyte better than the Book of Boba Fett?
No.
Okay, well there you go. It's the worst show then.
Do you think it is?
I no, but I don't think that Book of Boba Fett is better than the Acolyte. I think that they are equally bad. They're just both bottom tier.
Oh yeah, F tier for sure.
Yes, yes. I think Book of Boba Fett. Well, let me try to be a little bit more objective about Acolyte. After the first 2 episodes, I didn't think Acolyte was a bad show. I was intrigued. I was intrigued by what they were setting up. Episode 3 kind of the first flashback episode kind of brought me down a little bit like, oh, okay.
Kind of weird.
Kind of like a long exposition flashback episode. Episode 4 was when it started to get a real wonky when May just was flip-flopping all over the place in her character motivation, and it felt like, where are we going with this? Episode 5 was all style, no substance, and I liked it.
5 was good.
I liked that we just got some cool lightsaber fights, even though
it was the Mando episode, huh?
Yes, yes. 6 you thought was more interesting when we got
the Sith stuff was interesting.
Yeah. I think at that point I just felt like we're too far into this for them. It's just this isn't going to work. But anyway. And then 7 was the other flashback episode, which again, we talked about at length last week, and then the season finale. So, I mean, of 8 episodes, I think both of us feel like there was 3 that were good, 3.5 maybe. That's not very good. That's not a good ratio.
No. Would you recommend it to a friend who had not seen any Star Wars shows? They'd only seen Mandalorian. They hadn't seen Andor or Book of Boba Fett or Ahsoka.
No.
Yep, I agree. I'd be like, watch Andor, then get back to me.
The only people I would recommend, I wouldn't even recommend it to anyone, but the only people that I would be like, yeah, go ahead and watch it, are people like us that just watch everything Star Wars, but they're not asking me if they should watch it. They're making their own decision.
Yeah, that's true.
If you're just like a diehard that wants to know everything that happens in canon, like, yeah, I guess you should watch it. But a casual fan that is curious whether or not it's going to be like good television, no, it's not.
I just had a cousin who left for 2 years, and he won't have any television for 2 years. When he comes back, I'll be like, skip it. Unless season 2 can redeem itself, and maybe it can.
But when's season 2 going to come out? In 5 years?
Yeah, it took forever for this show, and it was so expensive to make. My goodness.
Think about Andor. Like, when is Andor season 2 coming out? I feel like it's been forever since we got Andor.
Andor season 2 comes out, I think, Q1 next year.
And when did season 1 end? Like holidays of 2022? I don't remember.
21 maybe?
I can't remember, but I feel like it's been a couple years since Andor.
The next show we're getting is Skeleton Crew, which is the kids show.
Oh yeah.
It's like the Goonies kids show in space. Star Wars Goonies. It's how I've heard it described. Then Andor season 2 is right after that. So,
Well, again, I guess what I'm optimistic about is I still think that any given show they could capture lightning in a bottle and it could be awesome. Like I guess I still fundamentally have faith in the Star Wars setting where there's a lot of world building and characters and things that they can pull from to make good stories and make a good show. It's just every individual show is a roll of the dice of
yeah, totally.
whether or not they're going to stick the landing or not. But
We'll see.
yeah, I think that overall, Bob Iger, I know you're listening, Uncle Bob. I think that you need a reset of your priorities and get back to box office theatrical Star Wars releases and quit worrying about pumping out so many Star Wars shows on Disney Plus.
We need a Christmas time Star Wars movie.
Yes. And I even feel like that what is the next Star Wars movie coming out? It's supposed to be like December of 26.
It's the Rey movie, isn't it?
Is it going to be the Rey movie? Because I know they're doing that one and they're doing the Mandalorian and Grogu movie.
Oh, I forget about that one. Yeah, you're right. I don't know. I have no idea.
I mean, I know that people have made lists like this, but I can't even remember all of the movie projects that they have announced and then have never happened.
Yep.
It's like I seriously think that it's double digits, like 10 plus movies that they've announced that have just fizzled away, and they're like, yeah, that's not actually happening, which is a staggering amount.
Yeah.
That over
not Ryan Johnson. He's still on the slate.
They've made 5 since Disney's acquired Star Wars. They have made 5 movies, right? Episode 7, 8, 9, and then Rogue One and
Solo.
5 movies, but announced 15 and have never gotten another one made in 5 years.
Like, yeah, that's just
the Ryan Johnson trilogy, the Benioff and Weiss movies, the Taika Waititi movie, the Rogue Squadron movie, the
Boba Fett movie.
The Boba Fett movie. It's just like on and on and on. Like all these movies that they would announce and then no, we're not doing it. Kevin Feige was going to make a Star Wars movie because he apparently has all the time in the world to take a day off from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He's going to come make a Star Wars movie. Like, what are you talking about? Anyway, I just feel like there's so many that they've announced like that. And then this last one, I mean, the Rey movie, the Grogu and Mandalorian movie, and then this Dawn of the Jedi movie that's going to be like a biblical epic Ben-Hur type movie about the beginning of the Jedi Order. But I'm like, they announce these things, and then a year, 2 years, 3 years later, it's like, oh yeah, remember when they said that? Yeah, no one's done any work on that. We're still talking. And then the creative people are like, well, we're still like talking about it, but I haven't even started writing the script yet.
Yeah.
Or, oh yeah, well, there's scheduling issues, so I mean, I'm just waiting for Disney. If they want to do it, I'm still down to do it. It's like, okay. Ryan Johnson needs to make like a Star Wars Knives Out movie. Ryan Johnson, for everything I've said negative about Ryan Johnson, I'll tell you who would have made a good Acolyte show about a Jedi murder mystery. Ryan Johnson. He knows how to do a murder mystery, a whodunit.
Thank you. Thank you.
He should have done the whodunit murder mystery for the Acolyte.
Thank you.
But anyway. Well, everyone, what do you think of the Acolyte? Put in the comments below on a scale of 1 to dog doo-doo how much you enjoyed watching all 8 episodes of the Acolyte.
Oh, man. Listen, I am sad that the weekly episodes are going away for a bit. Well, Dad's a Dagobah is taking a break until the next show comes along. So, Sean, I'll see you. I think holiday time is when the next show comes.
See you in 6 months. I mean, maybe we film a special broadcast in a couple weeks when we're in person together.
Oh, yeah. Maybe we should do that.
We probably won't, but let's keep the viewers on their toes. Maybe you'll get something from us.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, this has been Dad's a Dagobah signing out. Let's get back to the Bacta.
Got a Bacta tank with my name on it.
Yeah.
See ya.
See ya.